Hallo. Dankeschön. Got ourselves a Festbier here from Nittenauer. Nittenauer. I think Bavarians pronounce T's with a slight D, so I'm going to go with Nittenauer. But you can correct me. But not if you're from Berlin. Can do one, mate. This is Bavarian beer we've got going on here. So, anyway, Oktoberfest. You got the big six in Munich. They're the only ones allowed to pour Oktoberfest beers at that big official festival. But breweries all around the region, and maybe wider around Germany, also make Festbiers and Märzens for that time of year, for September into October. So I'm giving this one a try. This brewery from Bavaria, it's rural Bavaria, so I imagine me dressed like this would get some looks in the town or village where this brewery is. I've never had a beer from this brewery before, so not sure what to expect at all. The little amount that I've read about it just before I made this video, I like to just have a quick read about the brewery before I try the beer if I've never heard of the brewery. So it is, I think, just over 100 years old or so. I don't know, wait, let me see. Alright, so it is from 1762, so that's pretty old by, you American standards or even English brewery standards, but quite new in terms of, Bavarian breweries. But yeah, I think it was a rural kind of smaller batch brewery. I think they were catering for their own kind of beer garden, and then it's got taken over by a new brewer who's kind of paired the traditional German brewing with more kind of modern, perhaps American hops, and kind of pushing the boundaries whilst staying true to the German brewing traditions. So interesting to see how their Festbier comes out, whether it's similar to the Big Six in Munich, which is kind of, they've gone more towards the kind of macro light side of your lagers, or if it's closer to the older style of Märzen, which is much more maltier, darker, fuller bodied. But it is a Festbier, so it's going to be lighter than a traditional Märzen. So very interested to see. I'll stop jabbering on and I'll crack it open and we'll have a bit of a gander at Nittenauer Festbier. Rate my pronunciation in the comments. Roast me. I've not collected this bottle cap before, so I've got to be a little bit careful about how I open this. Probably going to mess this up now. But I like to keep them slightly intact for my collection. There you go, that's come off nicely. One day I dream of having a bar that the entire bar is lined with all the different bottle caps that I've collected. I can smell it already, man. It's got a beautiful malt aroma coming out of the bottle already. That's pretty cool. Wow. It's not even got anywhere near my nose and it's already just beautiful. Let me check I'm still recording. Yes, I am. Every bloody video I record, I have to check because ADHD brain. Anyway, wow. Okay, so for a Festbier, it's a little bit darker than usual. It's darker than the Löwenbräu, for sure. So it's looking more towards a kind of a Märzen style, but not quite as dark. Ooh, okay. Lot of malt on the nose. Yeah, like bready kind of biscuit, and then a bit of caramel in there actually. So yeah, man, this is definitely smelling much maltier than what a kind of big six Munich Festbier smells like. So this is your rural take on a Festbier. And then there's a beautiful kind of floral hop aroma. And that floral hop aroma is like going into the sweetness of the malt, and it's really nice to smell. For sure a gulper. For sure a gulper. Very interested. Very interested with this. Let's see how she drinks. Yeah. Very nice beer. Very nice beer. Fair play to them. It is immediately off the bat, as soon as what I was smelling as well. This is not like your typical fest beer that you get at Oktoberfest. This is much maltier. This is harking back to the older style of the Märzen. So a Märzen is darker, bigger malt flavor, kind of bread crust, caramel leaning, that kind of thing. And this is very much there. I'd say it's in between the two. So we just tried the Löwenbräu, and that was quite dry and very light and very kind of like baguette kind of bread, whereas this is perhaps in the middle between the Märzen and a Festbier. So the other end of the spectrum in terms of a Festbier, which is great. It's a great contrast from what the first Oktoberfest beer I drank the other day. So yeah, nice level of sweetness there on the malt. It is kind of a bread crust, that kind of sweetness you get from a bread crust, and it's going into like a bit of caramel biscuits and very slight nuttiness perhaps, and then just a beautiful hop bitterness. It's nothing like the Löwenbräu. That was almost, I was talking about like a German Pilsner in terms of that snap. This doesn't have that snap. It has a kind of very rounded bitterness on it. This is very much a malt-forward beer, which is why I'm saying it's leaning more towards a kind of Märzen. So as a fest beer, it's very much highlighting the malts, and the hop bitterness is just the supporting act in this. Yeah, like a floral bitterness, maybe hints of herb. I guess this is a Hallertauer Mittelfrüh on the hops. Gorgeous beer, rural Bavaria, keeping to tradition, and this is a more traditional kind of Oktoberfest beer, I guess, without going full blown Märzen. So yeah, it's probably not what your tourist Oktoberfest visitor will want to be drinking. They'll want to be smashing those lighter fest beers, which is why they're catered to. You drink liters and liters of it. But this is for more of an aficionado. Those who love a bit more malt backbone, don't mind a bit more on their beers, a bit more to chew on their beers, and I'm definitely in that category. So yeah, this has gone down quite well. So Dankeschön to Nittenauer. Apologies to the entirety of Bavaria. Yeah, a bit of honey, bit of bread crust. It's like breakfast if breakfast could get you sacked from work. Might switch out my morning meals. Just have a pint of Nittenauer Festbier. What more do you need, mate? Good nutritious morning start. Perk you right up, mate. You got the bread crust. You got the honey flavour. You got the kind of floral addition from the hops. Beautifully brought together in a very, very expertly German traditional way. If I had a few, what percentage is this? 5.7%. I'd get a bit merry on these if I was at whatever festival this is served at. I'd love to. I think I need to go to Bavaria, boys and girls. Do a tour of Bavaria, and I'll dress a little bit smarter than I am right now. Although I think Snipes is a German brand, but maybe not so popular in rural Bavaria. But hey, I fit in everywhere. It's part of my charm. It's really great in the mouthfeel. Like up front, you get that kind of bright, kind of carbonated, little bit bitter front, and then that beautiful kind of toasted bread malt sweetness just rolls over it, and the back end of that mouthful is just a beautiful kind of rolling ending. There's nothing kind of sharp on it at all. It is a really, really inviting gulp. So if you imagine, you're drinking a West Coast IPA, it's the opposite of that. A West Coast IPA kind of zings your mouth, and you end with a kind of sharp kind of bitterness. This is the opposite. This is just it's like a massage on your tongue. It's beautiful. They really have smashed it on this beer. I have no idea what the beer geeks are saying about this. I've never heard of this brewery, but it's a very, very nice beer, and I think they really know what they're doing in terms of brewing it. They've gone for the malt-forward kind of Oktoberfest beer, and I'm all for it. I'm all for a bit of malt. I know Oktoberfest is like a Munich thing, and it was started as some sort of celebration for a wedding or something like that. But is it the case that all over Bavaria around September, October, is there just like loads of beer festivals? Is it just sort of like a big celebration and everyone just sort of ends summer with a big piss up, drinking, lagers that have been fermenting for since March? What a wonderful tradition. I wish I grew up somewhere where, the end of summer was basically just like, here, drink this unbelievable lager that's been brewed for 500 years. Like, wonderful. Really great. I'm thoroughly enjoying myself going through these Oktoberfest beers, and not just going through the big six, trying out beers from breweries that don't get a lot of big kind of headlines or people have heard of. I'd never heard of this brewery before. It's got a lot of history. It goes way back, a few hundred years. But it's, in terms of scale, it's not a big brewery at all. So, I'm just really enjoying going through all of these Festbiers one by one, and just figuring out what I like, which direction I'm going, and I can appreciate all levels, like the kind of the big six. I think there's a spectrum on the big six. I think some people prefer the super light side, the drier side. So the Löwenbräu I just tried, and then others prefer a little bit more kind of oomph in their beers. And if you are a oomph person, this is for you for sure. It's not as dark and as kind of, I don't want to say challenging, but as characterful as a Märzen. It's still a Festbier, but it has that kind of malt body and something to chew on, but it's beautifully rounded. Like they really have just nailed the in between the two beer styles which are known for Oktoberfest. So yeah, whoever designed this recipe, I imagine their thought process was like, we understand that most people these days want to drink a Festbier, but we love old school tradition, and Märzen is the real deal. So let's go smack bang in the middle and produce something that invites someone who, would prefer the lighter drinking Festbier, but still have enough oomph for that kind of malt rounded sweetness, bit of character, something to chew on and enjoy. So this is that beer. This is the in-between beer. This is the middle of the road Oktoberfest, right in between the two styles. Nittenauer Festbier. I want to call it a Festmärzen. That's how I describe it. Straight down the middle, mate. Take that middle pin out and you're left with a impossible spare. For the English out there, it is the LBW. It is the plum LBW of Oktoberfest beers. It is straight down the middle, no debate, decent height, pitching in line and straightening. It's an absolute boom. No questioning it. No questioning it. No need for a review. There's none of that. This beer is a straight trigger finger, mate. I wonder if there's any other. I mean, I picked this up in Finland, so I'm just sort of, I just was going around. I mean, in Finland, you have to go to the Alko shop, and some supermarkets they also sell beer. But I went to the Alko shop, which is the government-owned supplier of alcohol. I just picked up every kind of German fest beer, Oktoberfest beer I could see in the aisle. So I mean, whoever's kind of sourcing beers for them has put this on the menu. But I wonder if there's any other kind of small regional kind of Bavarian breweries that are also making these kind of great beers. Because I mean, your big six are great for a reason, but there is, just like in England, I mean, you can go to Theakston or wherever, Shepherd's Neame, blah blah blah. But then you've got your smaller breweries that are doing wonders. And I guess that's the same in Germany, and you have beers with fantastic history, maybe slightly newer than your 1383 kind of historic Munich breweries, but some breweries that started several hundred years ago that we've never heard of outside of Germany, or southern Germany, who are producing unbelievable beers. But yeah, any Germans, like put recommendations in the comments, like for beers that you think, you know, not many people will have heard of, but are well worth visiting. Because I mean, I could just turn this channel into into a German beer channel, to be honest, because it's so good. They are so good. I mean, I'm English. I'm an English beer guy till I die. I'm cask ale through and through, but I have a special place for German beers just because they are excellent. They are very good. It's warming up and the carbonation's gone a bit, and it's it's really sitting in that kind of light caramel, malt forwards, no kind of alcohol heat despite being almost 6%. But yeah, really beautiful beer.